It's getting ready to pop on. All right, here we go, MB. Welcome to the Sideline to Baseline show with MB and KLEW. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. We got a new name. Sideline to Baseline, baby. We're really excited about it. We kind of came up with it. A lot of prayer, a lot of fasting.
Yeah, come on. Fasting and praying and calling around, trying to get it going on,
Yes, sir. I'm your host, KLEW, and my co-host, MB in the building.
MB, baby.
What's going on, man?
You got it, baby.
So I'm gonna kick it off again. This is straight to the streets, man. This is talk from the streets. This is for y'all. This is for all our fans out there, all the people that enjoy listening to us and being a part of our show. This is actually for you. So we really want you guys to call in. We want you guys to be a part of this. As a matter of fact, you are 100% part of this because we're pulling questions from you. So we have our beautiful Miss Shelly Barrow in the building that's gonna pull these questions and comments from
That's
you
my
guys.
brown sugar, baby.
And she'll jump in, right? And then ask us a question. She gonna interrupt us because she need to, because I can get a little aggressive at times.
And you know I can too. Tell the truth now. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Again, he say I be throwing shots at him, so I ain't gonna talk about him. I can only bad about myself. That way I stay clean. He done held me to it 2 days in a row. I ain't had to do 10 push-ups. He supposed to do 10 push-ups yesterday. I don't know if it happened though. I let him deal with him. I let the Holy Spirit deal with him in that area. So I ain't gonna mess with it. I'm gonna kick this thing off. 4 years ago, kneeling was too much. Ooh, what do you think about it now?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a situation right now coming slowly out of COVID. And then we've had the Ahmaud shooting, we've had the George Floyd shooting, and it's been rough. It's been protests all around the country. I mean, look, in a little bit of little bitty Orlando, man, right here, there's been protesters and looters, and you see businesses putting up trying to protect their buildings, with all the glass, putting up, plywood, trying to protect it. And it's a interesting time, man. But I still go all the way back to 4 years ago when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. It was the issue. A lot of people spoke against it, and really, I feel like squashed the entire movement. Now the movement has reared its ugly head with a vengeance this time. And I think, I've been talking to people here about it, and I said, listen, peaceful protests, that was tried. It was squashed. It was pushed down. And now we're at a point where it's a boiling point. It's a powder keg. MB, what do you have to say about it?
KLEW, man, you did a great job of laying the foundation, laying the thing out real nice and plain, and doing an excellent job of bringing us some serious points, man. And you're right. When Cap took that knee, right, and he articulated clearly what this was about, they still, like, when I say they, I'm talking about society or the majority, still try to frame it about something that it really wasn't.
Absolutely.
He was saying that, man, my people are getting killed and there's an issue. And it's not about disrespectful to the flag, but the same people, he was saying, or the few people that was supposed to protect and serve, was not honoring the flag. They were not honoring, they were not honoring the what the flag represented. That's all he was saying. He said, man, I'm protesting. And protest, anytime you protest, it's always a statement, because you're going against the norm, you're going against the crowd,
Absolutely.
People don't like that. And that's what he did. And so, but they try to make it or more than like about something that really wasn't. It was always about the people, man. It's always about, man, people getting oppressed and we're saying something about it. I want to be the voice of the people getting oppressed. And then they twisted. Well, then it came out like all lives matter, right?
Right, absolutely.
All lives does matter. But why is it every time we talk about Black lives matter, then now is we got to justify with all lives? No, all lives do matter, but that don't take anything away from that this Black life matter. Like, let's not cloud the picture. And it seemed like it was a lot of trying to cloud the picture, trying to make it something about what it really wasn't, when all the truth is like, man, there's a serious problem going on. And you know, it made me think about this, right? When you look at people who stood up for human rights in the beginning, one thing I see that's consistent is that they experienced hardship, they experienced frustration, they experienced people attacking them, character. Dr. King, right? He was on the communist list when he first came out.
Absolutely.
He was the villain. Now we portrayed him as a hero. Muhammad Ali, with the stuff that he did, right? You've seen the movie. He was the villain. He said, what, Viet Cong ain't do nothing to me? But he was fighting for people's rights. And then that's the price you pay in the beginning, unfortunately. And regardless, with Cap, is that one of the main reasons why nobody want to touch him for us NFL? I'm sure it plays a big part in it, right? Because you telling me 32 teams that he can't be a backup for somebody at worst? So nobody really want to touch it. So he sacrificed a lot, right? He sacrificed his career.
Yeah.
He sacrificed his name, right? But it's no different than me being a Christian, where I look at the sacrifice. It takes a sacrifice sometimes in order for the betterment of the whole society or betterment of the movement, unfortunately. You know,
well, in the ACC, you got NC State coaches speaking out, UNC, Roy Williams, Duke, of course, Coach K, David, Coach Cutcliffe as well, speaking out. ACC's making its rounds, but there's one particular coach that has also spoke that, you know, a lot of people are starting to say, hey, we don't know if that was enough. And I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to go back to 2016, and I'm going to say this: the Star Spangled Banner creates divisiveness and serves as a distraction to your team. While there are still problems in the United States, he argued, there's now a Black president and a Black quarterback at Clemson. It's so easy to say we have a race problem, he said, but we got a sin problem. It's just my opinion. That's Dabo's opinion. So he was discussing Kaepernick kneeling, and he was asked, should his players kneel during the Star Spangled Banner? That was his.
KLEW, can you read that one more time, please?
Okay, it said, Sweeney said protesting during the Star Spangled Banner creates divisiveness and serves as a distraction to your team. While there are still problems in the United States, he argued, there's now a Black president and a Black quarterback at Clemson. It's so easy to say we have a race problem, he said, but we got a sin problem. It's just my opinion. But that was 4 years ago. Now, just found out there was he had a coach that apologized for using the N-word a couple years ago. And then he released a statement, not about that, but obviously about the George Floyd murder. And Shelly, do you want to read that article? I think, Shelly, you had that one.
Yes. All right, sure. Well, first of all, let me do this, KLEW, if you don't mind, as we deal with it. Let's deal with the quote that you talked about, what Dabo Sweeney said, where you quoted him as far as he said that we don't have a race problem, right? I think, is that right? We have a sin problem?
Right, absolutely. He said, so easy to say we have a race problem.
And then the last part of that was, it's so easy to say we have a race problem, but it's what did he say?
But we have a sin problem.
Right. And so being a Christian, right, I definitely from a spiritual standpoint understand what he mean by that, because it's even when you talk about racism at its core, then you dealing with sinful issues like the Bible says, "Thou shall not," you should not hate. If you call your brother a fool, you're liable to go to hell based on if you subscribe to a Christianity point of view, right? And so, from that standpoint, from the core of it, that he's right. The root of a lot of this stuff is a sin issue, right? But however, God uses the natural things, right, to find the spiritual things. And just when you talk about those things, right, even though he mentioned, well, we got a black president and he got a black quarterback, we're not denying its progress, but just because don't get progress confused with that the problem is gone. We still got issues. You know what I'm saying? We still got a long way to go, and we applaud those progress, and we're thankful for those movements that's happening. But just because we had a black president at that time or had a black quarterback, that doesn't mean that we still don't have an issue. You know. So that's the thing with that, that what you brought up. But let me let Shelly read the before she reads, she's got a question.
Before I read, I do have a couple questions because I have two
ladies
people.
And this my beautiful wife, Brown Sugar, aka the Rump Shaker back in the day.
Hey, look, man.
Listen,
I thought we discussed that as my client.
Anthony.
We gonna straighten that out right now. Ain't going out like that. Listen, we finding it.
Well, sometimes we gotta throw a little love in there. Yeah. But anyway, we have a question from Anthony, drummer boy Crawford. Hey, Ant. Went to community outreach with us.
Oh, what's up, Ant?
An amazing drummer. Hey, he says, and I totally agree with this. After we have marched peacefully and gone to the voting polls, what do we do? Because as of right now, anger and frustration is what the reaction is. And then Mark Vaughn also had the same question after the protest. Where do we go from here? And that's a really good question.
You want me to take that, or you got it, KLEW?
Oh, I'm gonna jump in and let you. Well, I think that's easy. I think you nailed it right on the head. You talked about going to the voting polls. That's really what it's about. If you really want change, we can talk about, a lot of times people talking about my vote doesn't count, my vote don't mean anything. Local government is how you affect these situations. If you're talking about the Minneapolis Police Department, MPD, like they have a chief, he's voted in. They have councilmen for every district. They're voted in. So that's how you put pressure on them, and they have to make changes. Like if you don't like what came out underneath the direction of that police chief, who is, by the way, an African-American male, fire him. Okay? Because you don't like what happened. If you don't, or if the mayor won't fire him, because some places that guy is put into that position, hired by the mayor, fire the mayor. You can get rid of them too. So I think the polls are the answer, right? But then after that, I know we've been hearing this for so long, but it still boils down to it. It's training. It's straight up training. It's sensitivity training. It's putting yourself in other people's positions.
Right.
So until you walked a mile in my shoes, you don't know how much my feet hurt. Go ahead, MB.
You know what, KLEW, you're exactly right. And that's the one thing that I was talking to a coach, and he said, Michael, I grew up 1 mile away from where George Floyd got killed. 1 mile. And he said the difference between what I seen, because he grew up in the 60s, the difference between what he seen then and what he see now, he said that the Caucasian community, and he's a Caucasian, he said the Caucasian community has finally woke, because we talking about being woke. Usually that term woke, you're talking about from an African-American or Black American standpoint, being woke to the cause, right? But now he's saying that he sees that Caucasian community, he, like I say, he's a Caucasian. He said, we're woke to the fact of our privilege. And we're recognizing the disparity between us being, being us being white American and the Black America. And we see the difference. We finally get it, and we finally see it because, and so right now, as you look, when you look on TV and you look at social media, you look at that, even back then, back in the day, you seen maybe sprinkles of different white people behind the scenes and arm in arms. But now you see a mass majority of white Caucasian Americans saying this is wrong. That what we see, we finally see it because, right? You look at it every time in the past. So it's like when we complain about situations, when Cap complained about situations, people got on complaining about is Black America complaining about it, right? And so then now we get labeled instantly. Well, you just an angry Black man, or you're the victim, or you always saying this, right? But when you got white Americans that's saying it's an injustice, right? That speaks volume. Just think about, right? And not saying he did, but instead of Cap taking a knee, what if Tom Brady would have took a knee?
He'd still be playing football.
What if Tom Brady would have taken? Do you not think that the perception would have been different? I think so.
I'm going to jump in on this, MB, and say a question that was written actually for you this morning, that was directed directly to you this morning, because you just hit nail on the head with making the Tom Brady comparison. Tory, I think, reached out to you and he said, why are the NFL players as a whole pretty much mum to it? I think JJ Watt spoke, and I will say he did speak, but it was after he was challenged to speak by Shannon Sharp. But why do you think, and then slowly but surely other players are coming out, why do you think the NFL players comparatively to basketball, the NBA guys, immediately on every scene jump up? Why do you think they're so slow to speak and a lot of times mum on different issues?
My wife want to speak. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chef.
And I know this might sound shallow, but to me, a lot of it is NBA players' money is guaranteed. Their contracts are guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah, point blank.
And then also you have like a lot of being a professional athlete's wife for so many years, and then a coach's wife.
Hold on. She looking too good. Come on. She got her hair done. Come on,
my hair is not done.
Get in there.
Anyway,
get in there.
Stop.
No, get in, squeeze.
No. Listen. Anyway, back to the point. You have a lot of big time players that can stand, they will come up and say, this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong. But then you have a 53-man roster, and Absolutely. You have so many players. But a lot of those players are like, oh yeah, you can get up and Cap can take a knee because Cap's money is a lot longer than my money. I take a knee, I get cut, and then I'm out. The NFL has an average of 3 years. Not for long is what a lot of NFL players say. So I think a lot of it has to do with the economics of it all. That's just my opinion.
And I'll add to it, yeah, and that's definitely play a role in it to it as well. But I don't know. I would have to, and I don't want to take the political route with it with this answer, but I don't know. I would have to investigate that. I'm not on social media a lot, so maybe the platform that most people, I'm sure my fellow colleagues in the NFL, I'm sure a lot of them take it to Twitter. I mean, a lot of times, or Twitter, or social media account, Instagram, and they're expressing their things. So I would have to look at the data, because I would be shocked if somebody's not saying anything. Because I mean, you could see, you know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, now as far as being on the bigger social, platforms, as far as ESPN and whatnot, then obviously you're at the mercy of them calling you on. But I think, and now, like I said, I got to look at. I would be surprised. Guys have commented about it. I would, man, bet on that. Like, guys have went to social media, went to their platforms, and commented about what's going on. So I don't know about that statement.
Well, I'm gonna jump out the window then and read you this one. I think our problems in the NFL along the lines are minimal. We're a league of meritocracy. You earn what you get what you earn. I don't see racism at all in the NFL. I don't see discrimination in the NFL.
Hello, who's that?
Who said
Vic
that?
Fangio.
Vic, hold on. Stop playing for Vic. Come on, Vic.
So here's here's my answer to you, Vic.
Yeah, say it again.
NFL 3 weeks earlier, just 3 weeks earlier to that statement, NFL proposing incentives for hiring minority head coaches and new Rooney Rule changes. The NFL plans to propose multiple resolutions to team owners next week that would incentivize. I said incentivize teams to hire more minority candidates as head coaches or general managers.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's my answer to you, Vic.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you saying? If it wasn't an issue, then you wouldn't have that rule in place to try to give somebody a Scooby snack or buy one get free to hire a general manager, head coach. If it wasn't an issue, come on, no. Vic was my coach, man. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. He's out of touch. He needs, you know what? He needs to go take a friend to work with him. You know, a black friend, go to community with him, go around and say, so he can
take a black friend to work with you.
Yeah, something.
Where they doing that at, LB?
He need to do something because take him
to work with him.
He need to do one of those. You know what? Matter of fact, this the show. What's the show? Housewives Swap. He need to do black man swap, right?
Yeah.
He need to go live in the ghetto or whatever and see, and all black men, right? Or whatever, right? But that right there, he's out of touch. He's out of touch, right? He's misinformed, right? That statement he made, I guarantee he could start with his own team. And if he would communicate and talk to his own team coaches and players, right? Especially from the player standpoint, he's got players on that team that's not afraid to speak their mind, right? And they would even tell him from the richest to the star to the guy on the bench warmer that the issues that they face, the practice squads are the issues they face. Now, I don't understand that. I don't know who's whispering in his ear, but he's misinformed with that. And I love what you brought up, KLEW, about the statistics, how the NFL, they recognize they got an issue. All right, he needs to get on board and recognize the same thing. Hold on, we got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Shelly.
Jeff Taylor, it's not a question, but you said, go ahead, take that political bend. Can you type in? Can you further get into that? I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Oh, maybe he's saying when I mentioned about political in that regards, about when I said about the NFL players, like I thought, I don't, like I said, I hate for one thing about me, I just want to talk out the side of my neck. So just because he said that the players aren't responding, I'm not really on social media, like other than what we're doing, right? So like I said, I really don't watch a whole lot of TV, right? But if that's what he was saying, but from my standpoint, I think I would be surprised. I mean, these football players, I mean, athlete, whatever, NFL players we talk about, we comment on a lot of things, right? And I can't see how we would go radio silence about this issue. I would, as soon as I get up, I need to go on all social media accounts, pull up the different people accounts, because I know somebody's saying this. They saying, because even with Cap alone, they say, "Amen. We was telling you the issue. This is a chance. This is an opportunity to say, I told you so, right here. That we told you so. That what we've been saying from the beginning, right? That it was this, and then now people are woke to it."
Shelly, I think there's another comment. Did you want to get that one?
It was Jeff Taylor, and he was just piggybacking off of who said that the NFL is not racist. Then he said, "Vic Fangio, sit the H down." And then, and so then he went on with the NFL have 70%. The NFL has been 70% black since 1970
as players.
As players, absolutely, and we're still struggling to get coaches in 2020, especially when we want. Hold on, especially when we want to talk about just quarterbacks. True indeed. True indeed.
Oh, let me, and he's right? You look at the numbers, right? 70%, over 70% players, right, are African American. But then the leadership, right? The leadership, man, it doesn't reflect the minority. It doesn't reflect that in leadership. Majority,
Absolutely.
Excuse me. It does not. From head coaching to offensive coordinators to general managers to leadership position, right? it's a shame, right? Now, and so I'm not saying that because, and this is what we got to watch out for, because we can't keep crying wolf in the sense of every time a black man or black coach doesn't get hired, all right, he get bypassed for a job. We can't say that, because a lot of times, well, you always saying race. No, because racism is hard to prove unless somebody come out and
Absolutely.
say I'm a racist, or they got
Absolutely.
a KK outfit on. So it's KK. So it's hard to it's just your opinion against my opinion. But when you look at the results now, I'm saying not every case is because of racism. But you can't throw the baby out the water and says that racism doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you got to look at that. And when you check the boxes where you got qualified candidates, like say my boy Chris Richard, the Legion of Boom, defensive coordinator. He went from Seattle to Dallas, right? Smart, articulate, right? Love the Lord, right? And and you look at other guys who put in the sweat work, the hard work, and then they get leapfrogged by dudes that may got cut in college and get hired instantly for a head coach.
Absolutely.
Right? Where dudes are paying their dues and they get leapfrogged. I have an issue with that.
Shelly interrupting is another question.
I have an issue with that.
It's a clarification from Jeff Taylor, Shelly.
Yep.
I have an issue with that.
Okay, Jeff, I'm reading your clarification, which is great. I was wanting to hear from Michael his thoughts on it politically. It's interesting talking to former players and those that think there isn't an issue. And those that think there isn't an issue are white and conservative, and black players are expressing what the black masses are discussing at large, at least from what I have seen on social media. True.
Yeah.
True.
And
thanks for the clarification.
That's great, and I appreciate it, right? Because what happened a lot of times, truth be told, and I don't care how you feel about LeBron as a player, I love LeBron because LeBron say, look, you're not going to pencil me in, because back in the day, it was like, you're an athlete, stay being an athlete. You stay in your lane. Don't worry about anything else. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we stayed in that vein. We did not deal with community, with social issues or political issues. We got away from it. Like, I love it when I look back at the old films and you see the 1960s and you see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, those guys realizing that my gift make room for me, not just for my own self so I can eat, but everybody eat. Like, we all rise up, that we all part of the same body, that when one suffer, we all suffer, right? And I love it when I see that. And so LeBron is refreshing because he said, I'm not going to be quiet. I was down there with the Heat where they came together teamwork wise, where Trayvon Martin, or every social issue, right? They're not running from it. They're using their platform to make a difference. And I love it. And so you're right. A lot of times, man, we got that crowd mentality where let me just focus on me. But now what I'm seeing, I'm seeing a broader picture where now we're understanding that the power that we have as an athlete, that is not only restricted to the sideline or the baseline, but expands on and off the field, on and off the court, that expands through the community. And that now with the day and age now that social media is giving us an opportunity to have our own press conference, right? To speak on our own behalf, that we don't got to go through the middleman, that we can say what we want to say. And for those who are mature on understanding how to use that, man, they can make a big impact. And I see that nowadays, that people are stepping up, using their power on the field or on the court, on the sideline, to the baseline, expressing how they feel.
Yeah, this is completely interesting. Obviously, the COVID-19, I think, affected the timing of this as well.
Yeah.
When you start looking across, our country right now, there's a lot of unrest. And again, it's interesting how all of a sudden it's this same issue that was brought up 4 years ago. Now all of a sudden is hit a boiling point, hit a tipping point in so many minds, that you have now Fortune 500 companies giving tons of money, trying to help change the atmosphere. And I think, you know, it's so interesting because when you look at what Dr. Martin Luther King did, and you see from an angle of where he came from to really get at the conscience of America. But then you had the Black Panther Party, and then you had the Nation of Islam that also apply pressure in a different way. You know, moves and changes occurred, and it seems like all of a sudden people are waking up to the looting, the riots, the protesting. And it's like, you could have took care of this 4 years prior when people were just, not even a lot of people, but a few people were taking a knee.
Amen. Amen. And I'm just thinking about, you know, it's funny because, and what I mean funny means when I was playing and coaching, and we put a team together, always thought that the team was a reflection of society, you know? And so when I'm just curious to see how many other people are blind, just how like Vic Fangio, his comments, you know, how many other people are blind like Ray Charles, can't see, and they're being blind to like, oh, everything is kumbaya, like everything is awesome, you know. And I'm
cool
like,
when you part of a team,
right,
everything.
Awesome.
Hey, you know we daddies.
Yeah, exactly. So
how about that?
I'm like, come on, man. Like, really? So I'm just curious, like, man, if you blind to it and you say everything is awesome, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see the issues. You don't want to. But right now, hey, I love it that this thing is being because before when we complained, people felt like we was complaining. They didn't take us serious. They felt like we was playing the victim. Now this thing's got some legs to it, and now we got compassion and sensitivity, and people awoke to the fact that, you know what, George Floyd life was not in vain. He was not in vain, because what happened to him, for them to see that, his life was not in vain. His death was not in vain, because what happened when America saw that it really opened up people's eyes, like to see that officer look on his face and to show no mercy as he squeezed the life out of this guy.
Well, here we go again.
Everybody up.
And this is why I love our show, because we reach out to our fans, and fans, this is your time, this is your day. And we had a fan, and I don't want to go back to it. I'll give him his credit in a second because I got another screen up. I want to read this, but he asked us, "Hey, you heard about the Drew Brees situation?" So of course, while you were talking, I looked up the Drew Brees situation.
What is the Drew Brees? My wife was at it. Talk to me.
I would never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. This is a question he's answering. What if during the football season, once it starts again, that players go right back to kneeling? That's his answer. Let me just tell you what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played and when I look at the flag of the United States, Brees said. After receiving backlash about his comments, Brees reiterated his stance later on ESPN, saying that he also respects his teammates in their fight for racial equality and justice. And I just don't think you can have the two. I don't think you can say both things out of the same mouth.
When you say both things, what you're saying, what?
That you respect your teammates and their fight for racial equality and justice, right? From injustices, that then you can't say in the same tone, hey, you're disrespecting the flag. Because you know why they're doing it,
right?
And you know it has nothing to do with the flag itself. It's just telling us as Americans, live up to what we say the flag means.
Right.
That's all it's saying.
Right.
But again, it rears its ugly head. And like I said, 4 years ago, a lot of people are going to be on the wrong side of history Drew Brees just joined that crowd.
Yeah, I mean, dang, man. Drew, man, I was trying to get him on the show. Golly, before that. He may not come on after I say what I gotta say. Man, that's the thing what I'm talking about, right? We're I feel like AI, we talking about practice, man. We talking about practice, not the game. Drew, we ain't talking about the flag. Man, you disrespecting the flag. People disrespect flag by how they treat other people.
Absolutely.
That color red on the flag represent the blood that many Americans or Black Americans, right, sacrificed their life so we can have freedom in this country. That blood represent that hard on that sacrifice. That blood represented that. That this American flag was not built on just white America alone. That the foundation of African Americans helped build this country.
We built it. We didn't help build it. No. We built it.
Listen, help build this country. It's a teamwork, right? We helped build this country. We all played a role, and unfortunately, our role was taken from our country, brought here, right? But we helped build this country. So when you look at that flag, right, you're disrespecting the flag when you don't go out and treat. Last time I read, we're one nation, under God. And the God I serve is a God about love. And so for you to say, man, you disrespecting the flag, well, you disrespecting God when you treat other people, right, any kind of way. The Bible says, the golden rule, right? Treat those like you want to be treated, right? Okay, so.
No, they ain't in the Bible, MB.
Okay, I just don't agree with that assessment, man, because it just baffled me. Like I said earlier, we try to make this thing about something it ain't is. We try to divert the attention from the real issue, and the real issue is a race of people are being targeted, right? That's being targeted and being taken out. And that's what's being disrespectful. We try to bring up other things that really don't have anything to do with this right here. It's not about the flag. It's about people's lives. It's about justice. And we need to crowd and about those issues.
And Anthony, that was from Anthony Strack in that Drew Brees spot that I spoke about. I wanted to make sure that I gave credit where credit is due. And we appreciate you, Anthony. And that's what this show is all about. It's about y'all. It's about y'all, us just not informing you guys, but you guys informing us and then getting the views from the pros perspective. We got anything else going on, Shelly?
Yeah, let's go this. We started the show. We wanted to talk about the Clemson issue. Let's go talk about that. The ACC, baby. The Duke and Miami. Let's give the ACC some love right now and address the issue with Dabo.
We done already handled our business like it's supposed to be handled. Coach K came out, said some beautiful things, and
there you go. What Coach K say? You know what he said?
So we know what he said. He said he loved all his players, past and present, and their families, and he just cannot imagine. And I'm messing up his words a little bit, but he basically knows that it's rough being a black man.
Ooh, okay.
That's Coach K.
See, and that's what I'm saying. If more white Americans, right? Because like I told you, when black Americans speak up, which we should, right? But most of them think we coming from a position because we got skin in the game that we're acting like the victim or we angry black man or whatnot. But when white predominant Caucasian step up and say something, then it opens people's ear even more, And
I'm gonna jump in so I don't tear him up too bad. I misquoted him a whole lot. Okay. No matter how much I love
you probably gave him a Scooby say. You probably
his words actually sound his words actually sound much better than mine. No matter how much I love my current and former players and their families, I cannot feel the depth of what they are feeling right now, he said. I have never experienced what it's like to be a black man in America. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. All right. Well, let's go deal with Dabo Swinney here and over there at Clemson. Let's see what they talking about.
Okay. Former Clemson tight end DJ Greenlee told the state on Tuesday that Tigers assistant coach Danny Pearman used the N-word in speaking to Greenlee at a practice one day during the 2017 season. Pearman apologized the rest of that season, Greenlee said, and the Clemson assistant coach issued a statement of apology Tuesday night, calling his remarks to Greenlee a grave mistake. It was wrong when I said it, and it is wrong today, Pearman said in his statement. Pearman is white and Greenlee is black. News of the incident first came to light on social media earlier Tuesday from Kenyon Tuttle, a former walk-on receiver at Clemson, in response to Dabo Swinney's Monday comment about social injustice and George Floyd's death in Minnesota. Tuttle on Twitter said, "You allowed a coach to call a player the N-word during practice with no repercussions. I will never understand why it was never addressed." Greenlee, Greenlee who played at Clemson from 2013 to 17, was reached by phone while he was in Arizona on Tuesday. "He wasn't saying that I was an N-word," Greenlee said. Greenlee told the state that he was speaking with former teammate and fellow tight end Milan Richard during a 2017 practice following a play when the incident occurred. Pearman thought Greenlee had missed a block during a rep and was being a coach at the time, and he was just trying to figure out what was going on. After Pearman and Greenlee spoke about the play, Greenlee was asked by Richard about it, according to Greenlee. Milan was asking me what happened. "What's coach getting on you about?" Greenlee recalled. "I was just like, man, I got the N-word that came in my gap. I was talking to my teammate. That was all that was said. The next thing you know, Coach Pearman starts coming over there. He was repeating what I had just said. He said, N-word this, N-word that. The N-word wasn't there." Greenlee said he spoke with Swinney about the incident on Tuesday. That practice exchange happened in front of the entire team, Greenlee recalled. He added that he spoke with Swinney about the incident in a post-practice meeting to voice his concerns over what was said. "I went and spoke with Coach Swinney. Coach Swinney basically was like, first of all, we shouldn't be using that language anyway." Okay, that was beside the point. I was trying to figure out why Pearman felt the need to come over there and get in the conversation in the first place, Greenlee said. Coach Swinney went on saying how he was going to meet with Coach Pearman after he spoke with me. I took his word for that. He probably spoke to him. Greenlee said he was eventually able to accept Pearman's apology. From there on forward, Coach Pearman apologized. Yeah, the whole team. Everybody knew this. I was that one guy that was like, well, I see what I'm dealing with. I just handled it and I said I'll go on. I'm not going to hold a grudge on anybody, is what was said. He said it, he apologized, but it still didn't do justice for him saying it. Pearman is currently assistant head coach, tight ends coach, and special team coordinator for the Tigers. In a statement Tuesday night, Pearman said, 3 years ago on the practice field, I made a grave mistake involving DJ Greenlee. I repeated a racial slur I overheard when trying to stop the word from being used on the practice field. What I overheard, I had no right to repeat.
No, you can start.
That ain't really sound like he was trying to stop it.
Yeah,
then,
that sounds real shady.
The part that stands out to me the most was almost the part that you read at the end. Assistant head coach.
Oh, wow.
Special teams coordinator.
He leadership. Assistant head coach. You know what generally comes after that? Head coaching job.
Right.
And I'm gonna drop my mic.
Right. And what year was that it took place?
2 years ago, I think.
That was
It's 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago, right? Wow. Well, first of all, it's a lot. That article, who wrote that article? Let's give them credit. Who wrote that article? Where the article come from? The state?
The state.
All right. The state. All right.
Matt Connolly wrote it.
Matt who?
It's the state. Matt Connolly wrote the article.
Okay, so first of all, outstanding article. It gave a lot of details. Normally, you want to say, "Man, well, I want to get all the pieces before I comment on it." Right? I mean, the reporter did an excellent job giving all the details. Right? Man,
MB, what's your opinion?
I'm gonna say
you showed him love already.
Well, you know how you got to like set him up before you hit him. Then you put him away, right?
Or you don't put him to sleep. One of the two.
Well, first of all, I mean, he apologized. That's good. I'm good with that. But I'm very disappointed, right? That being in that position, assistant head coach with that type of influence, that man, it takes more than just apology. It takes more than just apology right there. Like, Dabo had an opportunity, and I know we, being a Christian, we forgive, but it's we can feel forgive. It's still a consequence, and just him apologizing, and especially when you look at the content of what happened, and then his weak apology that the coach gave, like, oh, I just repeated something. No, he gave up. Yeah, and we got in this household never said give apology with the excuse. I'm wrong. No excuse. And he gave, well, I just repeated something. No, you was like basically saying, man, make that block. I don't want to hear that. I don't in that, get that block done. You feel what I'm saying?
We know exactly what happened because we've been in those positions.
Oh, I overheard this. It's not a little kid say, a little kid, my little son, he hear a bad word. Oh, don't say that's a bad word. No, he's aware of what he said. It seemed like he was frustrated. He was upset, and he came out, man, I don't want no excuses. And just like as a coach, we hold our players accountable that we don't want no excuses. He just shouldn't make excuses because he gave a weak apology with an excuse. He could have kept that excuse to himself. All right? Because that took away from his heartfelt or any chance of him having a heartfelt commitment or sincerity, right, towards what happened. All right? I'm appalled. But then Dabo, right, I don't want to tell this man how to run his team, but 3 years ago, right, I don't care how long it was ago. In this day and age, that's wrong. That's insensitive, right? Especially now, man, it's a lot of terms now that you can't say what we used to say back in the day. You can't say it. And so from that, and then have a team, because trust me, all eyes, just like now, you see the comments like they felt like coach ain't handling this the right way. It's some hurt and some pain there. Because, and they're gone. Because he lost. I know we try to measure success on the football field, but in my opinion, that day, the way coach handled that, he lost a lot of his players. He lost it, right?
And that's amazing, MB. I think this is a great ending point. Unless the beautiful Shelly has any other questions or comments she wanted to read. Thank you, fans. This is a shout out to y'all, man. We really appreciate you guys moving and helping create the conversation. This is what we want to do twice a week. We have an awesome show coming up, 1983 Natty Champs.
The U, baby. You see, I got the orange-green virtual background in the back because it's all about the U. It's all about the U.
So we really, baby. So I think
high school coming. Hold on. I'm sorry. Go, KLEW.
No, you go.
Key, my boys.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got Alonzo Highsmith going to be on the show. Bernie Kosar, right? Coach, the legendary, the living legend, Howard Snellenberg and his beautiful wife, they're coming on. All right, we got some ballers. We got Kenny Calhoun, arguably made one of the historical plays in University of Miami history. This is the team that set it off. This is the team that launched University of Miami, this era right here, into 5 national championships. This guy, Howard Snellenberg, and the staff and these players, they laid the foundation for the success that we have seen with Miami being a team of not only just the decade, but a team in modern age history. The players. This is the guy who had a vision, the 5-year plan, had a vision implemented, and he got this thing done, man. So I'm excited because these guys got a story to tell. They got a story to tell on they paid a heavy price, all right, for Miami's success. And we need to give, the Bible says, give honor where honor is due. And we're definitely going to do that this Friday with this group of guys.
And I tell you what, we've actually had them in the lab. They've told us a top secret mission that's been going on down at the U, and they've all been recreated as cyborgs, and they coming in as true freshmen this summer and gonna put Miami back on the map. We appreciate y'all for coming, man. For KLEW, and that's my man.
Hold on, KLEW. Shelly, she got one last question. She called it.
Okay, I know we're closing it out, but Trent Williams is a man after my own heart. He said, how about we pull all of our kids out of these D1 schools and redirect them to black colleges?
HBCU right here.
We have been led to believe that their schools are better, but this is far from the truth. They only exploit us for our additional revenue. These funds would definitely enhance our own high educational programs. We would hurt them tremendously. Okay, see, I am a product of a HBCU. All of my family, we're products of HBCUs. So I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that the playing field would be leveled and we would blow them out the water.
All right, listen to this. Okay, Michael then, right? 5-star. Miami, Texas, this for you, mama. Alabama, Clemson, all the rest of them. Want it. And then Central in the building. Where you directing them?
You. Me?
Okay, this is for me.
I said for mama.
Yeah.
It goes back to the coaches. It goes back to the coaches because I am trusting and believing that you are going to take care of my child and they are going to get a great education. And I'm sorry, there is nothing like for an African American to go to a historically black institution. The pride that you have in your race and in your culture and in yourself when you leave is undeniable. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. So, you know, if they're talking the right thing and he's going to get what he needs to get, because when you're a good player, you'll be able to shine wherever you are.
That's true.
True and false at the same time, because from an NFL standpoint, they're going to judge you by the talent that you're playing against. So
they're going to judge you by the talent that you're, but they're going to judge you by the talent that you're playing against. But if unfortunately, if you go into that combine, that slavery place, that whole auction block, don't get me started because don't get me started. Get your foot on the line.
To get up, take it off the L, baby.
Let me see your teeth. Anyway, if you go there and you show and meat market, and then also my child is coming in with the favor of God on them. So you get up at that combine and you do what you have to do because you can't nothing pass up hard work. All my child do is get his foot in the door.
Yeah. And you know what?
Because a lot of times hard work trumps talent.
No doubt. And you know what? I'll add to this.
Saying.
I agree with her in the sense.
I see you talking with that Miami shirt on too.
I don't have a Miami
shirt.
She
ain't got one on. Talking about Mia. No, she ain't got one.
I thought Shelly had on orange and green. Oh, okay. I thought this.
I had on my NCCU shirt, but I took it off earlier.
Well, you should have put it with how passionate you just were. You need to go put it on.
Exactly. Hey, no, let me add this, and I know we got to go, right? But I agree with her. Especially with the scouting that take place. I don't think you bring up a good point about the competition. No, I don't think that's it factors in, but trust me, it's a lot of people that it didn't factor in the competition back in the day when Walter Payton, those guys, was down there. They saw it, but still, even Steve McNair, like I played with him. HBCU, right?
You talking about different players? Like I'm saying, you got to generalize.
No, I'm just saying if you can play,
what's going on?
I'm saying if you can play,
picking out one or two.
This is what I'm saying. If you can play, they will find you. So just like Steve McNair, all right. So Walter Payton and the guys back in the day, obviously. It was the black college was loaded with talent. Nowadays, when Steve McNair, it wasn't the case. All right. So he ended up being a first round. If you're a baller, right, these scouts get paid a lot of money to realize, okay, you're a baller. And then also, KLEW, chew on this. If that's a question mark, then your agent say, you know what? Let's go to the Senior Bowl. Let's go to these all-star games, right? So then now
you can't get him in, MB. They can't get him in.
They can't get him in. Trust me. You can't. How it works when the scout recommends guys. Okay, yeah, I want to see this guy at the Senior Bowl. I want to see this guy there. If you could play, Lenore Ryan, they had a safety
Absolutely, the safety
that went second round
Yeah.
to New England Patriots, right? That
only guy in the entire division that got drafted.
You say what now?
He's the only guy in the entire division this year in their division, meaning like what is it, D2 they were in. He's the only one that got drafted this year.
But that's to my point. Like, if you could play, they will find you.
But that's what I'm saying. I believe that there was more than just him that was capable of playing in NFL, but they only grabbed one.
Possibly.
That's my fight with you. You can do that all day. We can go back and forth and pluck out this name and that name. But at the end of the day, you have a better shot.
No, but KLEW is the same.
Nobody will go to Miami. Nobody will go to Alabama. All these kids, every kid in the world nowadays want to go to Alabama, right? Don't even know what Tuscaloosa is, but they winners. Now all of a sudden, Clemson getting the same kind of love. Don't know where Clemson is, but want to go. Why do they want to go there? NFL. They think
NFL championship.
I'll get it out. They don't care nothing about no championships. They want to go there and think they got an automatic ticket, click into the NFL.
Well, actually, when I was in college, right, we did.
That's
they did something. No. Check this out now. Hear me out. When I was in college, they did a research, and it was an independent research at what factors that kids determine which kids why they go where they go. And if in college, it was about championships. It wasn't the NFL wasn't the number one reason. Okay, but second of all, right. All I'm saying, I agree with.
Let's redo that study now in today's world.
One and done.
That was for you.
All I'm saying, KLEW, I agree with the statement. Yeah, you go to Alabama, you go there, that is going to get you in a better position to get you a look, because all you can ask for is an opportunity. So being in that situation, being in a program, especially if you play, is going to get you to look. However, right, just like you mentioned, that guy from Lenore Ryan may not be. It's other guys that got lost under the radar. It's the same thing. I could say it happens on the Division I level. Some guys, and it happens at Alabama.
But if you look at the rosters, they all state.
You say what?
Power 5, Division I. You know what I mean? There are very few guys on everybody's roster that are from these schools we're talking about.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though.
I'm not saying it's right, but it's the truth.
Lost. You can get lost anywhere. You got to go out there and ball. But if you balling, all right, they're gonna find you.
Good luck with that.
Huh?
Good luck with that.
I'm telling you, it's been proven. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but the roster states something completely different. That's all I'm saying. And I care about results. And everybody that's listening to my voice, go on the rosters of all these NFL teams, and you gonna count 5 or less players from probably every single team that is talking this kind of language. Now they are right. They are there.
KLEW, but I'm just saying, you brought up a point. I'm saying if you can ball, they will find you. It's proven.
Okay.
You look at my man. What's my man name? Eric Swan. Eric Swan did not even play college. He played in a semi-pro league. He ended up being a first-round draft pick. Didn't even play college ball. Didn't even play. Went to semi-pro.
When was that?
Eric, do the research. Look at you. You jump off.
When
Eric
was that?
Swan.
When was that?
Eric Swan. When? Whatever, what, 19? I forgot the year that he got drafted.
But
I'm just saying, though.
I believe you, but stop it, Mike. And we played with a guy that had a similar story, Darnell Dinkins.
Right, but look at this. And that's in the day and age where you didn't have social media, you didn't have all this exposure, right? So people have to really find him. This dude went first round, and he never played. He played, I think, 8-game season semi-pro, and he ended up going first-round pick, Arizona Cardinals, Pro Bowl player, whatnot. They will find you. KLEW, my point is, KLEW, I'm going to look no further than you. You played in the league how many years?
6.
Did you get drafted?
No.
They slept on you. You went to Duke University, a Power 5 school in the ACC, and they miss you. They miss you. They slept on you. All right, but you end up playing that many years in the league. That's what I'm saying, man. It happens. I don't care what level you on. They can still overlook you, and they overlook you because I played with you.
Hey, look here. I ain't gonna let you slight my program. Talk about you play on a
It's
different
Power
level.
5, ACC.
I hear you, but I hear you. Hey, we appreciate y'all coming tonight, man. It's all love here.
Golly, this Shelly.
Nah.
Hey,
Shelly.
she was the main one we got on. Hey, I'm only doing 30 minutes. That's the get me out there. Look at it. She all in this.
Well, because Trent said y'all missing his point.
What?
He says if none of our people go to Alabama or Miami, but instead go to black schools, the NFL will come calling.
I hear him.
No, we heard him. We heard his point.
Start with basketball. I tell you, it's the easiest way. Start with basketball. Football is a completely different animal. Start with basketball.
What are you saying?
I'm just.
What are you saying, KLEW? You saying if all the top black people go? I want to make sure I understand your question.
No.
If all the top black people,
you don't even need the top in basketball. All you need is one on every team.
I know, but Trent.
That's why I said start with basketball, because you're not gonna get that mass exodus in football, and 2 or 3 at every program ain't gonna make a difference. That's what I'm saying.
But this is what I'm saying. What you say, my point is Trent saying if all the top black athletes.
I hear him, but it's not gonna happen like that.
But we're just saying.
We're saying if.
We're not saying that. We're saying
if.
Hey,
we playing hypothetical.
What if the world was a triangle?
There you go. See, hey Trent. You see, this is a hostile witness. He ain't trying to play the game. Don't. I feel you, bro. I'm with you. All right. If we all go there, trust me, they did it before. They went there back in Walter Payton days when they had those ballers. They'll do the same thing. Trust me. NFL, they going international, go Australia, they'll go wherever to get some players. What's up, Colin McCarthy? My boy Colin said, you know what, man? He's like, man, Duke a basketball school, man. Colin from the U, man. He say do some basketball school. We can't even talk football with you no more.
Well, we beat y'all when Mike was coaching.
Hey, and Colin was playing too.
And y'all definitely don't want to see us this year. Bring it, Colin.
He was playing during that time too.
And then y'all play intramural basketball, so we don't even talk about that.
Oh no, we beat y'all before.
Yeah, y'all have.
Yeah. And matter of fact, your top player this year, he's from Miami. Stop stealing our players.
Well, we get everybody players. we don't stop in Miami. We get everybody players.
Vernon Carey, he's from down south. He's from the bottom, man.
We get him too. We'll get it. Hey, we had him too.
Yeah, I know. Golly, that hurts.
Hey, just pull up the top 100, look at the top 10, and you'll see us. Hey, we appreciate y'all tonight. Shelly ain't letting it happen no more. We love y'all. Thanks, fans, for being you, man. This is super important that you guys keep coming back to check us out. We love y'all, man. And we definitely appreciate what y'all doing for us. For KLEW and my boy MB, we out of here. Sideline to baseline, baby.
Take care now. Peace.
All right.